Hey, Mark, hope you're doing well. I just want to get you this quick video on using the agency edition and the workspaces, since I think you're planning to spin up an instance for your insurance client tomorrow. So really quick, this is just a staging account to give you an example of an agency. So the first thing you're going to want to do is head to the agency manager, which is the workspace manager. So we consider sub-client accounts to be unique workspaces. So if you go up to the initials for your name, which is the main manage menu, and down to switch workspace, you'll see a list of workspaces that you have created, and then manage workspaces. Since you don't have any workspaces yet, you'll just have the manage workspace link. From the workspace manager, you'll have an empty table. So you just want to go and click on add workspace. And this will be where you create your account for your client's account. Um, each account is, from a technical perspective, a fully fledged, full-featured lead forward account. Has a username, has a password. Doesn't mean you need to give that to your client if that's not the level of services that you're offering. I think we briefly covered that yesterday. But that is the workflow for creating the account. And then once you create an account, it'll appear here in your workspace manager table. To access the account, you just go to the more icon and click log into account. And this will give you seamless access to all of your sub-client accounts here, all of your workspaces. And like I said, it's entirely separate, complete data separation, all their own contacts, sequences, all that jazz. For tomorrow, in terms of setting up the Chrome extension, once you create the client account, one important key is the email address that you use for the client account. If you don't want the client to be getting notifications and things from the platform, or at least for the initial setup, you might just want to use an email address that is tied to your own either mailbox or mailbox that you can access. If you use Google Workspace, one of the cool things that you can do that you're probably aware of is using your mailbox domain, adding a plus sign, and then adding a variable after it. So it gives you a unique email address, but then you would also know which client sub account a particular notification was coming from. And the only reason I say that is so the one thing that you're going to want to do after you install the Chrome extension is you'll need to generate an auth key and secret for your particular sub client. So these can be done on a user by user basis. So like the account owner, which is what we're logged in as now, would have one. But then you can also create sub users for your sub client as well. So that if they have multiple users at their insurance agency, for example, that you're working with, each user can have their own unique account. So you'll just hit generate key and secret, and the secret will appear right away, and you'll always have access to that. And then the key would be sent to that email address that's assigned to this account. So that's the only thing I want to make you aware of as you're marching down this path. I'm going to send you a separate video as well, just to cover the LinkedIn prospecting aspect. But until they have mailboxes connected for outbound and sequence created, they won't be able to automate any outreach as it relates to email. But then within the extension, they can automate following profiles, sending connection requests, and all that as part of the prospecting. But I'll send you a video for that. And I think I might have sent you the video yesterday, just with that 4 touch point playbook. I would really recommend that, just because it's simple and it's a really easy way to get your clients seeing some value quickly. Now, one other piece that is technically our workspace function that exists inside of the lead forward Chrome extension, I wanted to show you because it might be relevant. So, if we take the position that there's, different types of services that the agency can be providing, right? So one level of service would be where you're just providing the account to the user, they're logging in and they're doing, all their outbound themselves, and you're essentially just selling them the software. Then there's the middle of the road option, which is sort of like the done with you model, where they're doing some of the activity, you're doing some of the activity. Maybe they're doing the prospecting, but you're building out the sequences and handling all the automation management, so that they're just pushing people into sequence. And the third is sort of like a done for you entirely model, where you guys are just doing everything. So in the past, we've done Obviously we sell the software, but we have also done services attached to some of this as well. We have a workspace function within the extension that allows you to basically have multiple client accounts all set up in the same extension. And each one, again, is entirely separate, has its own, prospect list view, its own LinkedIn results, its own access to data that goes back to its, unique sub client account in your Workspaces for the lead forward account. So, for example, if you had we're talking about having like a VA or something like that. If you had a VA that was doing prospecting on behalf of many of your clients, they wouldn't have to have a bunch of different workstations that they're accessing to toggle between clients to do prospecting. So if they have login credentials for your various clients, they would be able to log out of LinkedIn, log into another account, and then just switch their workspace on lead forward and then hop into that account. And it's just a one-click change, and then you're in a new account and you want to change into a different account, one click change, and then you're moving into that account. And then there's no data sharing here between any of these, and it makes a very smooth transition if you were doing the full on done for you, or if you guys are just going to be handling the bulk of the LinkedIn outreach and automation. Then that this would be a way of doing it pretty easily. And you're not limited to the number of workspaces that you can create inside of the extension either. And another important point is when you create a workspace, you can create a workspace using a key and secret for your own account. So it's basically like separating your own account into different workspaces for the prospecting side of things. Or you can create a workspace with an entirely different key and secret that would be, perhaps belong to your agency subclients. Or if you run out of workspaces one day, that's why I say you don't necessarily, it doesn't have to be a one-to-one relationship between workspace in the master lead forward account and workspace in the Chrome extension. You can create as many workspaces as you want under the same account. If any of that is confusing, please let me know. I can elaborate and go through this all with you at any time. But I just thought these pointers would help you on your way. And I would recommend that you before you go and see the client, you install the extension and play around with it a little bit too, so you can get acclimated. I'm available anytime for questions. Just let me know. Thank you, Mark.